Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Let's go.
I was wondering if you were coming.
Man, sorry I'm late. I'm here. Hey, I was making my YouTube video. Just started my YouTube channel. Ride a hoverboard. Man, been killing it. Expert at this thing. Got my channel blowing up. Yeah, got my mom, my grandma, my 2 subscribers. Yeah, hopefully you guys too. Let's go.
I didn't even know you could ride a hoverboard.
Me either.
Do you guys want to see his video? Can we watch your hoverboard video? Okay, let's check it out.
Let's go. Alright guys, here we are. Time to ride a hoverboard. First thing you guys need is some protective gear. Got my helmet, got my knee pads, got some flashy gloves. Let's get it, Michael Jackson style. Now, you gotta be an expert at riding a hoverboard because I'm giving instructions, but really it's my first time. But you know what? I got this because I get things. I get that. Let's go. Alright, so we're gonna go. Hey, hold on, I got this. I did that on purpose.
Wow! I'm so proud of you.
It's tough.
I'm really glad you didn't get hurt.
Yeah, well, luckily for me, I had my protective equipment on, my gloves and my knee pads, and of course my helmet. Be safe out there, kids.
That's a good idea when you're learning how to do something new to make sure you're protected. But you know what's crazy?
What?
This week, we're talking about how God is our protector. I know. So we're going to hear a Bible story today from the book of Daniel.
Okay.
And it is going to show us how God protected Daniel in kind of a scary situation.
Did he have a helmet?
He did not even need a helmet. Nope.
Okay. All right, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's see what happens. And so Darius became the king of Babylon. And Darius set over the kingdom 120 leaders to be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 governors, of whom Daniel was one. Then Daniel distinguished himself above the other governors and leaders because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king gave thought to setting him over the whole realm. So the governors and leaders sought to find some charge against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find no charge or fault, because he was faithful. Then these men said, "We shall not find any charge against this Daniel unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God." So the governors and leaders went before the king and said to him, "King Darius, live forever. All the governors and leaders have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whoever petitions any god or man for 30 days except you, O king, shall be cast into a den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing so that it can be changed according to the law." Therefore King Darius signed the written decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went home. And in his upper room, with his windows open toward Jerusalem, he knelt down on his knees 3 times that day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as was his custom since early days. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. And they went before the king and spoke concerning the king's decree. "Have you not signed a decree that every man who petitions any god or man within 30 days, except you, O king, shall be cast into a den of lions?" The king answered and said, "This thing is true." So they answered and said before the king, "That Daniel, who is one of the captives from Judah, does not show due regard for you, O king, or for the decree that you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day. And the king, when he heard these words, was greatly displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men approached the king, and said to the king, Know, O king, that it is the law, that no decree or statute which the king establishes may be changed. So the king gave the command, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. But the king spoke, saying to Daniel, Your God, whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. Then a stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own ring. Now the king went to his palace and spent the night fasting, and no musicians were brought before him. Also his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste to the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried out with a lamenting voice to Daniel. The king spoke, saying to Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions? Then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, so that they have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him. And also, O king, I have done no wrong before you. Now the king was exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take up Daniel out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no injury whatsoever was found on him, because he believed in his God. And the king gave the command, and they brought those men who had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives. And the lions overpowered them and broke all their bones in pieces before they ever came to the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote, To all peoples, nations, and languages that dwell on all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men must tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and he delivers and rescues, and he works signs and wonders in heaven and on the earth, who has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. Whoa, that was so cool. I love how God protected Daniel.
Yeah, that is some crazy protection right there.
Yes.
Much better than a helmet or armbands, knee pads. Wow.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought up a helmet, because we are going to talk about the kind of protection that God gives us to use today. Now, I have never been tossed into a den of lions. No, but the devil is still at work around us, and there are times that we need God's protection. Okay. So actually in the book of Ephesians chapter 6, it talks about the armor of God. God gives us this armor that we can put on, and it says, chapter 6, verse 11, Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And keep this in mind, because we're coming back to this passage for our special challenge. But I wanted to kind of talk to you about what it's like to have God's protection and try and living in this world where the devil is constantly trying to attack us and get us off track. And then how to live in this world with and without God's protection. Okay? Right. So let's say this is you. I'm going to crumple you up a little bit. And this is the world. We have to live on the earth. There's nowhere else that we can live.
Yeah, we're here.
So it's either we live with God's protection or without God's protection. So this is you without God's protection, without putting on that armor of God that you're going to learn more about, and just going for it. And a lot of times what happens is, as the devil comes against you and tempts you and tries to lead you astray and deceives you and lies to you, he makes your life more difficult, and you can actually start to get really weak and fall apart. Oh my goodness. And just maybe even feel like life is falling apart. I mean, it is without any protection, just in the world like that.
That's bad.
It's bad. So we want God's protection. So let me show you what it's like to have God's protection. So this is like putting on the armor of God. Let me dry my hands first. Okay. So let's get a new you. This is a new you.
Reborn.
Yes. Yes, you're renewed in Christ, and now you have God's protection. So we're going to put you in here. Now you have God's protection all around you, okay? Now you still have to live in the world. Yeah. You don't get to just float straight up to heaven. one day, but you're going to live in this world, and we are called to live in this world, but not to be of the world. But we have God protecting us now. So are you ready to see what happens as you go into the world?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, let me make sure you're going to stay in God's protection here.
With God.
Okay, here we go. All right, so notice you're still in the world, but this time you have God's protection around you. First of all, I can't even get to you. Can't get to you. And that's the same way with the devil when he tries to tempt you, or when he tries to tell lies and deceive you. Those fiery darts is what the Bible calls them. They can't get to us because we have God's protection. But let's see what kind of shape you are in now, having lived in the world with God's protection.
All right, let's see.
Perfectly dry. Look, not even any water can squeeze out of this. So the question is, do you want to live in the world without God's protection or with God's protection?
Oh, definitely with God's protection.
Okay. I agree. So now here is your special challenge part.
Buddy,
we need your families to get together on this. So parents, this challenge is partially for you too. I want you guys to go to Ephesians chapter 6. I just read verse 11 to you. If you keep reading, you learn all about the different pieces of the armor of God. If you come hang out with us on Sundays and Wednesdays, you might know a little song that we sing about the armor of God. Okay? So it talks about the pieces of the armor of God and what they mean. So we want you guys to read that together as a family and study the armor of God pieces. Then, to let us know that you're doing it, you're going to leave a GIF or an emoji or something in the comments, or you can even just type words about one of the pieces of the armor of God that you have read about. So for example, you mentioned helmet earlier.
Yep.
So if I studied about the helmet of salvation and learned what it meant, then maybe I put like a helmet GIF in the comments.
All right, yeah, I like that. Let's do it, guys.
Okay, so we look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you, those of you guys who are doing our challenges every week. We love to see you guys participating back with us. And those of you guys who are just watching, that's awesome too. We'd love to see you guys get involved with our challenges.
All right.
Okay, see you next week.
Bye, guys.